Yes, Ngozi, you have rightly introduced Professor Obasi Igwe, a professor of political science, University of Nigeria, Nsukka, Nigerian First Autonomous University. And to be a professor of University of Nigeria is a great feat, it's a great achievement, it's a great honor. Many aspire to be professors, but many never get it at University of Nigeria, Nsukka. Here with us this morning is Professor Obasi Igwe. In my media jobs, during my days with the NTA, Africa's largest television network, I had interviewed Professor Obasi Igwe to know what it stands for in the affairs of the nation, in the affairs of Africa, and before we have globalized world. Professor Obasi Igwe, you are welcome.
Thank you very much. Our coordinator, congratulations. Count 20 minutes. By 1:15, I would have rounded up. Okay. I'm speaking in English for the benefit of those who don't understand Igbo very well. Yes. I am here giving you the reason why we are here. We are here for you to get an idea of where the Igbo are going and where Nigeria should be going. First of all, the Igbo children striving to get a Biafra have a legitimate right to do so. They didn't just wake up in the morning and started agitating for Biafra. Many were killed in the process of seeking for admissions into universities. When they have gotten this admission, they will not be given any job. Discrimination all over. To be an Igbo in Nigeria is a punishment, not from God. This was the reason we went to fight for Biafra in 1966. Killing of 3 million people. There are countries that are modern, are not up to 3 million. Nigerians, in their wisdom, organized and wiped this population out. On top of this, instead of rehabilitating the Igbo people, they started killing again. Nigeria is a killing field. All these Boko Haram, whatever you call them, they started killing the Igbos, first of all, in churches and everywhere. It was when they had a disagreement within them that they extended it to other people. There are Igbo people being killed in Benue, in Kaduna, in Sokoto, everywhere. But the only people that are being rehabilitated, are being mentioned, are the indigenous of those places. Now, my task here is to tell you, if people are in a family and the one person is seeking a divorce and the other person doesn't want that divorce, then it is obligatory on the other person that wants the union to continue to start persuading the other person, giving him reasons why you should continue to stay in the marriage. Nigeria has failed to give people reasons why we can continue to be in Nigeria. I'm seeing that they are killing. They kill Mumbai, they kill Obibo, they kill Naba, they're killing Nimbo, they kill everywhere. And since we have no arms to start fighting again, wait, I'm coming. And we don't want Igbo land to be another theater of war. We have no arms. If we have arms, we don't want Igbo land to be a theater of war. But they know this. The enemies in Nigeria know this, that they want Igbo land to be another theater of war. carry the world to my with the connivance of so-called Igbo leaders. For no provocation, that they're killing again. These Igbo leaders have not called for the amputation of those people. There are many people missing. The private parts of many young boys and girls were cut away and put into their mouth for it in this 21st century. So we, or we take back Nigeria, we went to think and started thinking and said, since it is like this, since Nigerians can't persuade us on the reasons why we should stay, and the only reason is to kill and kill and kill. I was one of the greatest supporters of Buhari in his anti-corruption war. I said the criminality and corruption of Igbo leaders have killed Igbo land. So if in my lifetime I saw somebody who has come to fight corruption, I said, this is my man. But then you have seen how he's fighting corruption. Yeah. That is how it's going. And we people in a move as Nigeria, in the Take Back Nigeria, we started to go to think and say, how do we stop the killing of Igbo youths? Since the cannot give us reasons to stay, let us give the reasons that if conditions that if they fulfill, we can manage. Because every Nigerian, honest Nigerian wants to stay in Nigeria. They don't want to go. And we are telling them, one, start it. They refuse to start. The young people want to go. We say, okay, that's a fine idea. But we'll be there. They refuse to start. They are waiting for the Igbo. When we now start, they will go and join others and start fighting us. They are killing the better people, innocent people in their homes, in their farms. These are the people that in Zogu took up a war to stop killing in their place, to emancipate them and stop killing the Yorubas. These people went around, organized and made those people that they were being liberated from, join them and started to kill Igbos. We went to think, started thinking, we said, okay, since you want to go, Yoruba, you have a flag, you have a constitution. Tiki people, you want to go, you have a flag, you have a constitution. Ijaw people, you want to go, you have a constitution. Everybody, Hausa flag, you want to go, you have a constitution, you have a Araba. You want to go, but you don't want to go. You want to go, no movement. It is only when the Igbo says, now let us go. They go around and stand right. They say, this is for you to understand why we are doing what we are doing. It is not that we don't know you are hearing. We say, okay, since it is like this, let us go for restructuring. Let us go for true. And this paper is to tell you the modalities for that restructuring. Because we see an abundance of political illiteracy among Igbo youths. And you cannot blame these youths because the elders have disappointed them. The only plan Igbo leaders have for Igbo children is to use them as dogs. Then halfway they abandon you people. So we started thinking. And in this thinking, we came out with proposals that there should be a provisional government of national redemption in Nigeria. That will be the sovereign national conference to oversee a return to true federalism. This provisional national government will be tasked to return Nigeria to the 4 regions. If not the 4 regions, to ethnic nationalities. Big ethnic nationalities can stand alone as a region. Small ones can come together. So that in final analysis, there will be reduced number of constitutive units, but strong regions. We are not asking for the devolution of powers. that concession of powers from the center to the units. No. We are saying that the units should take back the powers that priorly belong to them. It's not a question of condescending to concede. That is not what we are saying. There is a difference. We are saying either that these regions are returned or that ethnic nationalities should assume their responsibility as constitutive units. But Igbo have a problem. Gowon in 1967 came and cut the Igbo into pieces. They cut out them Bamili, but that cut to Boni, Obogo, Eche, and so on. And started dehumanizing them, exploiting them, telling them not to say the Igbos any longer. To change their names and places. We should not blame these people. They were under threat of extinction through ethnic cleansing by Gowon and his cohorts. It's even surprising that after 50 years of certain propaganda, that there are still people from these places who know that they are Igbo. Like that young man there from Obia, or the same place with the weekend, who says he traveled a lot from Port Harcourt to participate in this program. Like he is an Igbo. They will go nowhere. They will go down and cut out those people in Anoma, and all this circle, which he wants to be surrounded by enemies on all sides, he calls it East Central State. East Central State has nowhere to come in from and nowhere to go out to. So when we are calling our people, this problem people are calling Igbos to come and invest home. Where will Igbos in Lagos, importing and exporting? Come and invest in East Central State, otherwise called Igbo Southeastern region. Which means this Southeastern region is simply a reincarnation of ethnic cleansing. Anybody that goes for Southeast is actually endorsing Gowon's ethnic cleansing. Which means that anybody that is saying about Southeast is not talking about the national question. The universal uniting contributes to the sea. The job uniting contributes to the sea. The uniting contributes to the sea. Let's see, Calabar, the video, Island uniting contributes to the sea. Only the Igbos are divided into parts. So as to have the inland Igbos landlocked, nowhere to go. A boiling pot that will implode. And then they call it Southeast region. And these people are around here, knowing that they are there to make sure that the Igbo nation is destroyed, are always holding meetings and conferences on how to unite South region, make Onitsha river port a port. When they know that there can be no port in Onitsha that is independent, before you can reach the Atlantic Ocean from Port Harcourt, you pass through the job. And there are no political basis and even the scientific possibility of getting through the Nile River and the Kasa. You can't get through there. Of course, you can't go to any other way. That is what Gowon has designed, the poison chalice. And we are telling you we use. We are going for the national question. The unity of the Igbo nation down to the sea. When we go there, that's what we are asking the provisional government to do. Let every nationality unite. Every nationality cannot unite minus Igbo people. Igbo should also find a means of uniting. If you are an Igbo leader, you don't know how to unite Igbo people, you should resign for that position. Yes. Because it's not an impossibility. We cannot be surrounded by men of impossibility. What is dividing us with our brothers? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So nobody should come and divide us. From Abo, from Ibakiri in Edo State, to Abo in Ebonyi State, to Obono in Enugu State, down to Bonne in Rivers, and everywhere. There are simple people created by God as Igbo nation. And we use those facilities and we developed the Americas. Started the human rights movement in Americas. By looking to shows that to the world, Igbo prospered and united. By turning ourselves 180 degrees, looking to the Sahara, we became killed by our own supposed brothers. Therefore, let's reverse and go to our history. And resume from where we stopped in 1967. And we are telling Nigeria that we are ready to accept one Nigeria Africa, one Nigeria, so long as there is a proper restructuring and a return to true federalism. This is the reason. Therefore, in this provisional government, there will be 4 important elements of this provisional government. A, the organization of the constituent units of political administration. B, just and equitable reform of the military security services, of which state police is one. State policies cannot solve our problem when the army is not reformed. We cannot accept a situation where only Adamu and Muhammad are all commanding officers to the south. And even people, the people are put in training centers, public relations, and all this stuff. We should have an army that represents the people. We should have a people's army. We can't let them go with the police, state police, if they cannot join that with the reform of other security and military services. Right now, the Fulani people, remember, we are not against the Fulani. We are not against the Hausa or Yoruba. We are simply against injustice. We believe that there are people among the Fulani who don't like the victimization of people. We believe, but we want those people to come out and say, this is where I stand. And not just so long as they will not come out, we will refer to all the Fulani as people of one mind. We don't want to be slaves of anybody. Igbos are Republican and Democratic people. And you just come and suppress and suppress. I will vanquish, I will crush, I will do this. I mean, this is too much for the Igbo man. So we want an equitable reorganization of the military and police service. Not only police service. Because if you go to military formations in the villages and elsewhere, you see that these military barracks are being expanded to accommodate Fulani headsmen. So they use now the military barracks as occupation grounds. So in a properly reorganized military formation, everybody will do his business. By the way, why are the Fulani headsmen not paying taxes? They are not contributing to the economy. They will come here and they are giving land free. And they start defecating on them. We go to the big place and buy land costly. And any day they like, they come and loot them. So we want a proper society that will accommodate them. We need them. And we are pleading to them to also need us. There has to be that mutual respect. We don't believe in this kowtowing and caliphate thing, bowing down and so on. We let them carry on with it. We believe in political democratic debate as we are doing here today. And we are asking them, respect our own tradition. We will respect yours. We want a secular Nigeria. A Nigeria where there is democratic political and free enterprise economy. And we want resource control. Let everyone control and use the resources in that place. Including the oil-bearing places. Then somebody will ask me a question. What will happen to Buhari and his government when we have a provisional government of national redemption? He can be allowed by act of necessity to serve out his term. We will not interfere with that. Let him serve out his term. But that let him facilitate the work of that provisional government that will convene a sovereign national conference. Then but he should not interfere with the people's will. Secondly, 2019 elections. We are totally against those elections. Because 18 million people have already been registered in the Northwest. 18 million non-existent people. 10 million people in Northeast, where people have evacuated because of war. These are the fictions that have already voted and given Buhari victory. People that do not exist in tax records have already voted in Nigeria. And how many people are in Enugu? 200,000 or 50,000. Are these the people that will contest with all these people? Let each region organize itself and have its own census. It reflects these census in proper demographic data and vital statistics. We can't use fictitious figures and censuses to hold an election only to continue the continuous. So we are against the election. So with the establishment of a provisional government, the elections have been put on hold until restructuring is done. Now, let me run through. It's quite a big Igbo and the lessons of history. We are telling the Eastern minorities, the Ijaw, Ogoni, Efik, Ibibio, Ogoja, Calabar, everybody. We are telling the middle belt. We are telling our Yoruba brothers that let us join and fight for the emancipation of everybody. We are telling the Fulani people to stop fighting, to create territory inside Nigerian ethnic nationalities. Let everybody accept a return to true federalism. Let everybody accept the principle of justice. Let them stop. We know what they're heading to. They've already said Katsina is Katsina Arana. Katsina of the unbelievers. Let them stop that thing. Let them accept that this is 21st century, where people live freely in a just and democratic society. It is even in our interest that Nigeria should be free from the abuses of caliphate imperialism. It is in the interest that Igbo man should be free in Nigeria and protected everywhere we are, because we are bearers of the light. Yes. Trade is light, trade is civilization that we create. When there is darkness, you see an Igbo man opening a shop, there is something light there. He brings happiness and joy, family and love and marriage to whosoever he mixes with. This bearer of the gold is what Nigerians are keeping away, because they have an oil to exploit. We are willing to every Nigerian that accepting the Igbo, learning from his democracy and so forth, is very good for the Nigerian space. And that accepting the structuring and return to true federalism is a significant step to peace. And we are appealing to all Igbo leaders in various Igbo groups to have this idea and know the concept of Southeast as far as speaking Igbo. Because the concept of Southeast reminds us of our encirclement and slavery. The concept of Igbo reminds us of our illustrious history, which has gone and which will resurface sometime in the future. And we are hoping that the youth of today will get themselves properly in the right direction to know where we are going, so that they will know the issues at stake and take them as stride and effectively. Thank you very much.
The concept of restructuring may be better off while leading this hall. Resource control, we want to hear more from him. But I promise here on that we shall manage time and manage it effectively.